Brought to you by Penguin.
The Actor. Written and read by me, Chris Macdonald. For Sadie and Otis. Never be afraid of throwing yourself into what you love, but never let it define you. Act 1, Scene 1. I didn't know until much later, but it was me. The night I saw Luann's body hanging above our bed, I awoke the ghost. I had sprinted through the forest, oblivious to everything around me, knowing if I got there in time I could save her. I tripped on mangled roots, stumbled through dead leaves, chest heaving from what felt like a lifetime sprinting. But as I burst open the cabin door, the air thumped out of my lungs. I was too late. I barreled across the floor anyway, took out my knife and cut her down, held on to her for far too long, wheeling her round, squeezing the life back in, face buried in her skirts. But Luann was dead. I laid her down, gazed through a hole in the roof at the stars over the Wasatch Mountains, and groaned for a God I didn't believe in. I collapsed onto my knees, and even though waves of tears overwhelmed me, I knew it was hopeless. After a short time shaking at the foot of the bed, I looked up at my teacher, Jonathan Dawes. His face was set in a death mask. I sank back on my haunches, and as if a lens had been twisted, reality came into focus. The camera rig loomed over us. Tower lights arrowed at me like siege weapons. Near 20 black-clad crews squeezed into the cabin behind them. We'd been shooting the climactic scene of Woodsman since 10 o'clock that morning. It was midnight. Jonathan murmured something to my manager, Vanessa, and she asked for the room. The figures emptied out, leaving only Jonathan, Van, and me. Jonathan took slow steps towards the bed, every creak of the floorboards making me wince, dragged a chair from the desk and sat, his domed head just above the lifeless eyes of the mannequin of Luann. "That night at the conservatoire," he said. "I know. It is a gift for this scene." I looked up into his crab eyes. "So, use it." He separated the words with a scalpel. "Take yourself back." I closed my eyes, breath held at the thought of what he was asking me to do, and took myself back 20 years to the dark halls of my old drama school, the conservatoire. Invisible hands led me along the corridor, beckoning me through the open doors of room 1. "The smell," Jonathan said. Dust, dripping wax. My forearm started to tremor. None of the manufactured waterworks I'd just been trying to fool the camera with. Good. It was good. "The music?" I heard the choir, a requiem playing through speakers on the concrete pillars of the school's main rehearsal space. "Now look," he said. I shook my head. "You know you must." I could barely hear his voice as I pictured the room 1 stage in semi-darkness and found myself, eyes closed still in the real world, turning towards the severed rope from where I had cut down the mannequin of Luann. "This is too much for him, Jonathan," Vanessa said. "Quit meddling," I said in my character Harrison's Midwestern growl. "Fuck's sake," my manager said as she left, Arctic Parker rustling as she stormed out of the cabin. "See it here," Jonathan said. "It's essential for the scene." My eyes sprang open and there it was. A different body, the body from that night 20 years ago swinging above the bed. Tears pricked. I was desperate to look away, but Jonathan was right. I had to see it. "Think about what you did," he hissed in a whisper. I bit down on my top lip, wrung the fake blood-soaked sheets in my fingers, pain in my stomach like an organ bursting at the thought. Jonathan scraped back the chair. A voice barked an order somewhere in the distance. The crew flooded in. "First positions," someone said. In seconds the cabin was full. My makeup checked. Luann hung back up again. But I was still at the conservatoire, biting my lip so hard it bled, struggling to hold the pain inside, waiting for the moment. Someone moved me to the doorway. I had to do everything in my power not to throw my arms around the girl, Van's assistant it must have been, and beg her to take me away. But then the machine. My lover and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?